Hello and welcome back to Lord of Heroes News on Nyris Gaming. Technically this is for yesterday, but I had a few things going on, so let's get into what kind of spontaneously happened yesterday. So, Charles III is just suddenly a playable character. Kind of came out of nowhere. No announcement or anything, he's here now. And for the longest time, you could see him in the archives under some of the comments for people, and he didn't have an element associated with him, so it's kind of under the impression that he wasn't going to be getting a playable version. But he's water. He's a water commander. Let's look at his stats, and we can look at his ability level ups right away because he's just out immediately. So here are his level 1 and 70. Definitely more on the defensive side, being a commander. Now let's look at his abilities. Okay, so his 1 attacks the selected enemy, grants leech to 2 allies with the highest attack for 1 turn, mildly taking the place of a cleric, giving the damage dealers the option to heal themselves. This will get extra damage through to level 5, and get an increase in buff duration at level 6, so it will give the leech for 2 turns. His 2, very similar to Crom's, makes sense given he's Crom's ruler in that nation. Cooldown 3 turns, burst gauge by 390, fills the action gauge of all allies by 45% off the bat with no level requirements. I believe Crom needs a couple levels to get to 45. Increases the speed of all allies for 2 turns. That'll be good for Crom himself and for Water Walter. Grants counterattack to the user for 1 turn to keep maintaining that leech buff on your DPSs. Extra burst gauge gain up to another 100% at level 4 total. Level 5 will be buff duration up 1 turn. I believe that will apply to the speed and the counterattack. That is usually how that reads. So 3 turn speed and 2 turn counterattack. And down 1 cooldown at level 6 for every other turn cooldown. Really solid ability. His burst attacks all enemies, increases debuff rate and assist rate of all allies for 2 turns. This attack deals 10% more damage for every buff on the user. I don't know if you'll be using him as a DPS all that much, to be perfectly honest. Increased damage for the first 3 levels, increased buff duration for 1 turn at level 5, and -1 spirit cost at level 6 for a total of 3. Stat ability is speed, elemental ability is fire damage resistance. His commander ability, this will happen in the Calamity's Cradle, the Alliance raid. 35% chance to grant health regeneration to each ally respectively for 2 turns upon receiving damage. And this will cap at 60% at max rank. It'll be a little redundant to run him and Crom on the same team, given Crom with his 2 does regeneration for 3 turns. So it'll be a bit overlap if you run them on the same team and a bit unnecessary, so maybe split them apart. Now he is a featured summon. He is available in the summon page right away. As of this recording, he is still available for 60 days, so 2 more months. Good, decent bit of time. Just a lot with how many different ones we've had coming out new so far. Been 5 or 6. You still have 29 days left on Cessair. I've been working towards her. I still need 60. And Brandon, for the same time period, is coming back alongside Charles. Charles, unlike Cessair, has relics. I don't specifically remember what they do. I remember one gave his attacks chance to provoke. They wrote it as taunt again. I don't know why they keep using the wrong word for their game. I don't remember what the other one does. It is the start of a new month, so we have the birthdays now. You will get their respective regional gift options to give to them. We have Lyrae, Mew, Sulfi, and Zyra. Zyra will be from Rodon for her gifts. Sulfi, I'd imagine, would be from Dakion, because that's where you encounter her. Mew, I'm less certain, because she's from one that is only available in Nightmare mode, and before the Rodon gifts were good for them. So maybe Rodon again? We'll have to check. Lyrae is going to be from Varia. Giving gifts to these people will give you lots of things, including elixirs and gold. And since we are still having a Mystic Beast Mayhem, it's good to farm those story stages to both get their gifts and get tokens for Mystic Beast Mayhem. That is going to do it for Lord of Heroes News on Nyris Gaming today. I shall see y'all in the next video.